It's the Daily Comedy News with your host, Mark Pires. Join us for breaking headlines and all kinds of comedy shenanigans. Brought to you by the BeatSeat.
I was walking down the road today, looking for another way to ease my mind and help my living. I look into the windows of the passing cars driving next to me. Look how the open road affects us all. So many perfect ways to spend your days. It didn't mean, wow, there's something to live for. There's something to die for, yeah. There's something to live for. There's something to die for, yeah. Oh, I was walking down the road today, looking for another way to ease my mind and help my living. I look into the eyes of the passerby as I smile and roll on by. No offense, that's just me living. So many perfect ways to spend your days. It didn't mean, wow, there's something to live for. There's something to die for, yeah. There's something to live for. There's something to die for, yeah.
Alright, give me a second.
How often I forget the old
Looks like
days.
they have a different type of show.
Lying in the field under the sun while the birds.
We live. Can you hear me? You should be able to hear me now. Unbelievable. Zabrowski, can we go back to the top and do another intro? Because YouTube couldn't hear it. Can you hear it now? I'm hoping that now you can hear me. You should be able to. So, guys, to remind you, this is a live comedy news show, no politics, so you can leave all of that at the door. We're here to laugh about whatever else is going on in the breaking news on a daily basis. And if you are on TikTok, head over to YouTube because you'll see these news stories in the corner of the screen, and we scroll together to find whatever we're going to talk about today. As I was saying, I got in a lot of trouble, I think. I've been live for 5 years in a row every day, and I did the Donald Trump show, I did the Joe Biden show, and they're comedies. I mean, people used to appreciate Saturday Night Live, which is what I'd say my show is very similar to, and instead they kind of got offended or whatever, and no matter how funny anything is that I do politically, you're going to shut off half the country. My show is about bringing everybody together, so that's why there's no politics here. Wherever you are in the world, there's a show at 9 a.m. and then a show at 9 p.m. every day of the year. Well, weekdays. On the weekends, it's one show, but we do the double show during the week, every single week of the year. So wherever you are in the world, there's a live show where you can connect with awesome people in this chat. I got Matt Zabrowski here. He's about to hit us with a woohoo. What's that, Zabrowski? Oh, he wants me to throw it to him. Zabrowski. Woohoo! Zabrowski brought it. That was a Friday woohoo if I've ever seen one. So welcome. All right, we're going to get into it. Okay, Helen's got sound now. Main Girl's here. I got Barella. Patrick, my friend Patrick on X. I love Patrick. He's always supporting me on X. I don't get much support on X, but Patrick always sends nice comments, and I'd love to have him on the YouTube channel with us. I'd love all of you guys to join us on YouTube. Mark Inspires. Very easy to remember and to subscribe to. Let's get to the news of the day. We're going to pull this up on the screen. I just have to pop it up. I don't know if you guys saw Will Smith. New Anaconda species. That's what the thumbnail is of the day. But Will Smith apparently discovered a new anaconda species. I don't know if he did or if he was just, a film was being shot around Will Smith and he's getting the credit. Anything they can give this guy after what he did to Chris Rock. Hold on one second. I got to see if I can unplug this and just fix this issue, whatever this is. That just bothers me. I can't stand when that stuff happens when I'm trying to shoot the show. Thank you. Fix it. Come on. That'll do. Ish. Come on. Give it to me. I got an idea. Is that working? It's making it worse. It's making it worse! Gosh almighty! Come on. Any moment now, you'll have a decent green screen experience here to appreciate. The whole room is a green screen, for the love of God. You think you'd be able to get it right. You're live every day of the year, you know? And then you have a Joanne, but she just does nothing at all to help the show. Is that any better? Much better. Do you see the top of my chair, though? Let me see, I gotta try to fix this. Come on. Gosh almighty, this is annoying. That's gonna do. We're gonna deal with it like that. Oh, much better. Sometimes it just takes a couple seconds to get it perfect, you know. So we're here. Let's read this story about Will Smith being a anaconda discoverer, or whatever the heck he did. New anaconda species said to be the largest ever found during filming of Will Smith docuseries. Maybe nobody wants to do a film with him anymore because of the slap. Theory is, and this is just a conspiracy at this point, that Will Smith freaked out, slapped the anaconda. If you saw my thumbnail, he said, "You keep my wife's mouth out of your anaconda mouth." A giant anaconda species thought to be the largest in the world has been captured deep in the Amazon of Ecuador by a team of scientists from the University of Queensland. A group of scientists led by Professor Brian Fry uncovered the nearly 10 million year old species with help from the indigenous Huaorani people while filming Pole to Pole with Will Smith. Oh my goodness, is this my freaking concept that he's doing, this piece of garbage? Of course, I'd never have done it, but still, I think he's doing my idea. I had an idea with one of my friends. He actually, I haven't seen him in years. He was a film guy. And we said, how cool would it be if we went down to the very bottom of South America, like to the tip, Tierra del Fuego, I think it is, or whatever, and just took a journey, a documentary, all the way up to Alaska, to the top, to the North Pole. Is that what this is? Sounds like it. Of course, I would never have been able to put the funding together to even do something like that. I thought about it 20 years ago, never did anything about it. So it's nice if somebody does do something about it. I thought that would be an awesome documentary. Although I probably would have gotten murdered on the way. I mean, there's a lot of really, really evil people between the bottom and the top who are just, they see a guy that doesn't look like he's a regular walking through, you know, and I could see that could have gone really bad. Anyway, let's see what happened here with the Huaorani people. The size of these magnificent creatures was incredible. Fry said the news release, one female anaconda measured an astounding 6.3 meters, which is 20.8 feet long. The invitation of the Huaorani chief, Penti Bohaya, to enter the Bohoria or Huaorani territory in Ecuador's Amazon was only one of only a handful granted since the tribe's first contact in 1958, so they haven't let a lot of people in. Our team received a rare invitation to explore the region and collect samples from the population of anacondas. Look at that freaking thing. Chief Baihua, I don't know how to say it, guys, Baihua. Chief Baihua led Fry's team on a 10-day search for anacondas, considered sacred to the tribe. The team took canoes down the river to the Bamino region, where they found several anacondas lurking in the shadows, lying in wait for the prey. The group then captured several specimens of the species that they named the northern green anaconda. The key of understanding the discovery is the difference in the geographic range of anaconda species. The Amazon has two separate basins. The larger basin in the south, which is Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, and parts of French Guiana, is home to the green anaconda, from which the northern green anaconda comes. The smaller basin in the north, Colombia, Ecuador, Guyana, Suriname, I'm not saying Suriname, I think it is, Trinidad, Venezuela, and parts of French Guinea, is home to the newly discovered northern green anaconda. The two species differ genetically by 5.5%. It's quite significant. You know, guys, we're only 1% apart from a chimpanzee. That old gag. It's really about 33% different. If you look at the stuff that they pulled out of the genome, which is like something like billions of different sequences, because it didn't fit the narrative. Anyway, look into that one. Here we go. To put it in perspective, humans differ from chimpanzees by only 2%. Not accurate at all. Not accurate at all. Like, this is a weird thing to explain, but there are sequences when they're trying to determine how close we are to the chimpanzee. And then there were sequences where instead of it being like HV, QR, XYZ, it would be like XY, QR, HPV. And because there was a little bit of a difference, they just throw those out. 1.7 billion genetic sequences that were just thrown out because they said it almost fit but didn't, so let's just forget about those. And let's just pay attention to the things that we do connect on. So when you look at that 1.7 billion, you take it away, and you look at the something like 2.8 billion that they did hold true and dear and near to their hearts. We're talking about like 67% similar to a chimpanzee. That's just what I saw when I was reading that story. But anyway, Fry says the work in the Amazon is far from done. Pollutants such as cadmium and lead have woven their way into the delicate fabric of this ecosystem as consequences of the frequent oil spills plaguing the Yasani Amazon. This is all human tragedy and human error stuff here. Fry's team hopes to keep an eye on the reproduction of the northern green anaconda to have a greater insight into the health of the ecosystem at large. So guys, I don't know how Will Smith had anything to do with this. I guess he was there filming, like, didn't even talk about him in this. Like, where's Will Smith mentioned? Slapped the anaconda in the face. You know, sometimes when Will Smith is there and he's filming and he's ready to use that really, really, really powerful slap of his to slap the taste out of the snake's mouth, out of the anaconda's mouth. Guys, the Odysseus made history. First U.S. private spacecraft to land on the moon. Still waiting to see if that's accurate. I mean, I love these computer-generated photos. Look at this, guys. Look at did you see the Earth in the background over there? And then look at this, guys. Did you see? This is, what is this called? Houston-based Intuitive Machines Odysseus Lunar Lander. Can I just point something out to you here? Do you see this? This is like a balloon. This is a balloon right here, okay? Do you see that there is an indentation in the balloon? This is supposed to be filled. I would assume this, you see the line that's coming in here, that this is what they use all of their helium for. And this would probably be a helium aspect to whatever the freaking hell this is. And this is a helium balloon that is not fully inflated, but they're in the vacuum of space. Can somebody explain to me what's going on here? Like, how is that even possible that we're seeing that, but they're in the vacuum of space? Uh-oh, are we still on? We are still on, good. Let me just see, I actually want to make sure I don't run out of power again though, because that is going to be a problem if that happens. Guys, I think I found my pick. No, this is a different pick. I've had this one in my pocket as like a good luck pick, you know. Who sucked out the helium? That's what I want to know. Look at that. That's like not a fully inflated balloon, but they're in the vacuum of space. Wouldn't that just like, wouldn't that be the same thing as the ship that tried to go to the Titanic? You know, where it would like implode because of the pressure? That's a little weird to me. I'm looking at that and I just don't understand. So if you could give me some answers to that, you scientists out there, I'd appreciate it. The landing site is about 185 miles to the south of the moon's pole. Let's see. Look at that, guys. Did you see? It took off and then it went like that and then into the ocean, you know. Space pivoted to an upright orientation roughly 1.2 miles from its landing site. All of this, guys, It was broadcast live, 237,000 miles away. They were adjusting camera lenses, zooming in. Perfect, super clean, Kubrick style. I'm waiting to see actual footage. But look at this. Someone tell me, what are we talking about here? Oh, we're going to go and shoot out, and then we're going to go around the Earth, use the Earth's rotation, which you don't ever feel ever, and we're going to go then back up this way, where we can't use any rocket propulsion in the vacuum of space to propel ourselves to the moon. Guys, it's so simple when you think about it. You just have a hard time thinking about it. That's the problem. You're not a scientist, If you were a scientist, you'd be like, yeah, makes sense. Check off the boxes. Oh, that's right. We don't go to the moon. We go this way, and then we shoot around the Earth. We're doing a shoot around. Is that how it works? Does anybody know? Because it doesn't look like that thing's going to the freaking moon right there. That thing looks like it's going into the ocean on the flat scale model, non-rotating disc. Some say. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't think it's what they tell us, because when they show us photos of a globe, it's not a globe. We know that. We know it's not a ball, because they told us it's an oblate spheroid, which is squished, which is actually closer to what we would consider to be a disc than a globe. A disc, if you recall, discus, is not flat. It's a disc. It's a squished ball. I feel like that makes sense. And we're living on the top of that freaking ball, because there's no way you can go around the outside of that discus. And then you're like upside down. You're like, yeah, I just took a flight. No, you did one of these around the top of that discus, And this guy over here, he's just flying right into the ocean. Guys, it look good. What do you do? Is that good? Just turn the cameras on in the studio for the 3D model of the moon. Guys, yesterday I did it. I was on the moon yesterday. Don't you recall? I was on the moon. I'm on the moon now. I just decided to go back to the moon. Because you know what? Sometimes Joanne, we forget her, and we have to go back and get her. And I also left a couple of beat seats here. That was another thing. I wanted my beat seats, because I don't want to play music without a beat seat. And I'm like, I forgot my beat seats on the moon. Oh, that's right, Joanne's there too. She's a secondary thought. First thoughts? I got a beat seat back there, right there. That beat seat, I was rocking out on it here on the moon. But sometimes Joanne, she needs to get that, she needs to get that lack of oxygen in her brain just to kind of wake up. Wake up, Joanne. All right, so I don't know what that is. Somebody tell me. This does not look like it's going to the moon, all right? It's actually now lower than this camera. By the time we got to this photo, it's right here, right there now. NASA launches Psych mission. Sean Spencer, he's back with Gus. They're going after it, It's funny, when that show was on, my brother used to tell me, he's like, I could see you being that guy. He's so sarcastic and silly and goofy. He's like, I thought that you should have tried out for that part. It's like, I don't know how to try out for the part. I don't have an agent, a talent manager, no. I'm just a guy who shows up here every day to be goofy for you. All right? Let's see what else we got here. I'm going out of this. I don't want to talk about the moon anymore. All right? We didn't go the first time. I'm looking forward to ever getting there sometime in the future. Van Allen belts. Let's talk about it. Oh, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce stay in a $25K per night penthouse suite. When you're a billionaire, when in Rome, they say. We're not doing anything political. Tropical resorts popular in America no longer off limits for cartel killers. The rules have changed. Look at this. Who's going to a tropical resort now? I'm not doing it. Bill Maher over here is going to tell us all about it. Looked like Bill Maher, at least for a moment. Look at this guy. I love shopping at Lidl. Do you, Zach? When Zach decided to go to Lidl to get his different fragrance soaps, and being in Pipersville, PA it's all you got is Lidl. There's not much else you could do.
Qualities you would get from a Greek restaurant.
That's what I was going to say. You can't go anywhere but Lidl's. When you're down in Pipersville, PA, If you're not going to get the light L's to get your global favorites, here we go. Bill Maher.
National private investigator. My firm
He's looking like Bill Maher, right?
is Arms
Ish.
International Investigative Services.
Let's hear what he has to say.
So what's going on in Cancun and Tulum and the area that they refer to as the Riviera Maya in the state of Quintana Roo? The problem is you've got kind of a perfect storm happening down there now. You've got like a trifecta of things that are happening that
kind of sounds like
together
Bill Maher,
and converging
too.
to create the situation that you're seeing now. You know, the
He just has
incident
to do the
involving the woman in
slowdown.
Tulum that was found, or she was killed in a crossfire.
He's got the
between
crossfire.
rival
He
drug
kind of sounds
gangs.
like him in a way.
80 miles away in Cancun, you had
hear it.
5 men that were hacked to death by machetes.
It's the
They
tone.
just caught the 6 people that they say are involved in.
He's got the tone of Bill Maher, you know? Just forget about all, like, he's missing the slowdown, you know? Like, let me get my joint and let's talk about this for a while. He's got the rest.
In perpetrating that
Hear it?
crime. I mean, to us, it's horrifying.
It's dead on Bill Maher.
It's noteworthy.
You're
It's
looking like him
newsworthy
too, pal.
Because
Anyway, guys, the Mexican cartels are just indiscriminately killing and dominating over an 80-mile stretch of resorts along the Caribbean coast. To tap into the country's $30 billion tourism revenue, private investigator Bill Maher / J. Arm III told Fox News Digital. In the process, Americans and visitors from around the world have become collateral damage, gruesome violence, or they just disappear, wiped off the face of the earth, Arm said, as he tried his best to sound exactly like Bill Maher while looking like Bill Maher.
you know, the woman was, you know, a foreigner.
He just said it, the foreigner. I'm like, that's Bill Maher right there. Over the last 2 decades, cartel members dismembered rival gang members with a machete. What the fuck? Somebody please, like, I'm not going to Tulum. I'm not going to Cancun. I'm not going to friggin' California, it looks like, too. Yeah, I'm staying away. I went to Playa del Carmen for my honeymoon and spent 2 weeks there at resorts. And never been back, clearly. Never going back. I remember, okay, listen, this is crazy. My brother-in-law is Mexican, and he's telling me that, he goes, look, when you get off the plane, you get into the taxi, you give the guy your location, he said, and then when you're in the car, he goes, don't talk to anybody. He said, don't even sit at the window in your car. He goes, stay in the middle of the car until you get to the resort. And then we said, well, okay, because you're going from basically near Cancun, which is where the airport is. It's about 20, 25, I think 30 minutes away to get to Playa del Carmen. And so we said, well, we're thinking about going into the town of Playa Car and walk around and see what's there, you know. And he goes, don't do that. And he goes, if you do, don't speak to anybody. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, they're all going to try to talk to you because they'll see you're American. They're going to try to get you to buy stuff and see if they can rob you. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. They'll be like, hey, come here, American, come here. Oh, you're beautiful. And they'll start trying to talk to your wife, all this stuff. And this is 16 years ago. And so we're walking around in this little Playa Car village, totally cute. These little stores, really awesome. I mean, definitely was a cool experience. But I remember being terrified because of what he said to me before we went. And so whenever I heard someone saying, hey, American, come here, I was like, no, we're good, buddy, we're good. And we just kept walking. We stayed away from everybody. So it's dangerous there. There's good people, but then there's a lot of crime. There's a lot of murder. And he said they kidnap Americans because they think that there's a way that they can, you know, have some sort of scheme there where they con you out of sending money to keep your family member alive or something like this. So, you know, abductions happen all the time, kidnapping, and if they see that you don't fit in, you're a target. So that being said, now apparently there used to be some sort of protection, and now they're just like, these people have taken over. 80 square miles, is it? 80-mile stretch. It's all horrifying to us, but the people of Mexico just said Tuesday, it happens all the time all over the country. But now it's happening in areas that used to be off limits. So it used to be that you can't do this by the resorts. You can't go and attack tourists. You know, the people that did it, if they got caught, maybe there were some actual repercussions, but now it's like they're letting it happen. About 15 to 20 years ago, the heads of the cartels lived in a code similar to the Italian mob. In the old days, they weren't allowed to target women or children. You weren't allowed to encroach on another's cartel territory, and the resorts were off limits. Cartels wanted to fly under the radar as much as they could. A slain foreigner in a tourist area, especially an American, brought unwanted attention and mandatory swift action from the Mexican government. Government leaders wanted to protect tourism, which has been the country's legal economic foundation for decades. In 2022 alone, there were 66 million international visitors, including nearly 34 million U.S. tourists. That's a lot. Most of the travelers arrived through Cancun, which received 36.1% of all incoming flight passengers. In reality, they've become war zones. The rules have changed. All that old guard code is out the window. The resorts are open shop. He noted how travel bloggers and social media influencers have attracted an influx of travelers that the gangs have never seen before. Who we see as tourists or potential customers are potential victims to the cartels. Even if it's 1% or 5%, that's millions of customers and a big chunk of business. 4 main cartels want all the business of those areas. That includes El Chapo's old cartel, the Sinaloa cartel, the Gulf Cartel, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, and the Grupo Regional, a smaller cartel created by former Zetas, brutally violent cartel enforcers. With all these young kids coming up, there's no respect for anything. It's become a free-for-all. All travelers are sucked into the violence, either as targets for robberies or sex trafficking. I can't say that word. Or innocent bystanders in the wrong place at the wrong time. One of the unfortunate byproducts of the drug wars and drug trafficking is inevitably some innocent person is going to get caught in the crossfire when the cartels are shooting each other up. Look at this guy. Joseph Constantine Bunanankantri, I don't know how to say his name, was abducted by men and left in the Mexican jungle with his eyes taped. Well, at least they left him alive. Usually that ain't the case. We went to Tulum as well. So now I'm remembering this. We were here in Playa Car. Where is it? Here we go, Playa del Carmen. You see this? So we went from here down to Tulum, and then we also went to Chichen Itza, I think it's called, which is another pyramid in the area. There's 2 pyramids right nearby. Tulum is one of them. It was cool, guys. I mean, I got pictures of this. I should go and find these photos and show them to you. Tulum and Chichen Itza were beautiful, and it was a really cool experience to go and walk around these pyramids from potentially thousands of years ago. I mean, it was the little rooms they had built out of stone. I mean, it was unbelievable to see. And then just the idea that there's pyramids in Mexico, and there were pyramids and are pyramids in Egypt, and pyramids in China, and pyramids all over the world is really, really fascinating. I'm really fascinated by all of that stuff. That's why I really, one of these days, I'm hoping to continue the Chasing History series that I started and keep adding to it, you know. I used to love that show, America Uncovered. And I actually reached out to the host, and he was been receptive to me on X, actually, back and forth a few times. And I really hope to get him on the show to talk a little more about historical events. There's something called the Hooked X that's all over the United States. It's from Europe. It has to do with the Knights Templar. It has to do with potentially it has a lot to do with history that we don't know about. Like there's a history in America that's connected to Europe way before Columbus. So anyway, let's see what else we have here. This guy, another popular tourist hotspot is the Mayan ruins, Mexican state of Chiapas. We didn't go there. But guys, here we go. I don't know which one this is. Look at that, that's cool. The labyrinth structure in Chilean, Chiapas. Look at that, that is so cool. This is like some solid building that was done thousands of years ago. You know, it's like you almost want to get into the mindset. Like it'd be awesome to speak to the people of the time. You know, you get this time travel idea where you're like, well, who would you go and speak to? I mean, why does it have to be one person? I feel like it would be pretty cool if you sent people everywhere just to get some insight. You know, like, how did you guys work together to figure this all out? you know? I still believe, based on my fear of what could happen based on solar activity and, you know, countries that have powerful EMP technology, et cetera, that if we were ever to be brought back to our knees and back to the Stone Ages, and I think this has happened many times in the history of our time here, because we get kind of complacent, and once we have access to the simple life, which is picking up your phone and doing all research. We used to have to get up, get in a car, and you go to the library, you have to pull a book, you have to look through page after page so you could find that one little detail you were looking for. Before that, you had Encyclopedia Britannicas, and you'd have to source a page, then go from one page to another page, and then from there you'd maybe get what you were looking for. Before that, it was word of mouth. Before that, it was on stones. But like, was there times in the past, millions of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago, thousands of years ago, where we were exactly where we are today, and then something massive like a solar storm or, you know, EMP? I mean, there's always evil. I said evil is always ruling the day. And so if that's the case, was there a time when evil ruled the day and it destroyed everything we had, and then we had to start over from scratch? And then you have 95 to 97% of the people, if not more, that don't know how to survive without the phone, don't know how to go and milk a cow, find a cow, get food, survive, hunt and gather. That was an older time we just don't understand. It's like those people in the middle of the country that are doing this, that are actually like prepped. They got their guns and they're ready to go. Those people, man, I want to get more of them on my show to talk, because that, I think, is what we all should be kind of really focused in on right now. I got to go buy a crap load of water. I don't even know if that's all. I think I need canned goods and all kinds of stuff. I gotta get Sig Sauer on the line. He was giving me a bunch of info. You know what else too? I mean, there's so many different prepper channels out there, you know, and they all have good information. So I would say important for you to see if you can just brush up on the details. Like, there's lots of different companies that provide you with long-term food. I had one that I had actually a discount code for a while that I could try to get to you guys. And I think we should be prepped. We should be ready for something, because it's going to get bad at some point. And if you don't know how to go and hunt and gather, and you don't know how to plant different vegetables and fruit, you don't have fresh water or running water that you could access, you know, you don't last very long. It's just the reality of it. You can't. It's just people start to die off very quickly. And that's scary. That is very scary. All right, we're going to get back into this. Look at all this. Everything is political. It is all political. Here we go. Portia Williams files for divorce from Simon Gabadia after 15 months of marriage. I have no idea who these people are. Gosh almighty, guys. I can't read this story, but look at this. The guy was in office for 4 years. No wars, no genocide. Like, the reason why there's a fear is because these people have been lying to the American people for 4+ years. Like, it's not even indiscriminate. Tyler Perry halts $800 million expansion of Atlanta studio after seeing Sora's shocking text-to-video model. I have no idea what that is. I really don't care. Intuitive machine moon lander sends home a haunting crater picture ahead of touchdown today. Let's see it. Let's see the haunting crater. What's so haunting about that? There's like a foot, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, you know, guys, this is the issue when you're scrolling the news. Sometimes you don't find anything, and you only see political stuff, and you don't want to do politics, so. Okay, here we go, this one. Louisiana saves nearly $153 million by releasing incarcerated people held for nonviolent crimes. I kind of agree with this one. You know, like, especially if you got someone in jail long-term for something petty, they did that for a while, and they continue to do it. I mean, there's a lot of really shady stuff going on in the legal system. So anyway, I don't really want to read this, though. But they're saving a lot of money, guys. Pretty cool, right? Oh my goodness. It's never-ending treadmill for the content. Mr. Beast says he rakes in $700 million a year. Has a personal chef and trainer, but claims he's not rich yet. God almighty. This guy is killing it. He spends upwards of $8 million a month on his business. That's insane. His most popular video, $450,000 Squid Game Challenge, inspired by Emmy-winning Korean TV show, has more than 500 million views on YouTube, while another video shows the YouTuber paying for the cataract surgery of 1,000 blind and near-blind people around the world. Each video does a couple million in ad revenue, a couple million in brand deals. I've reinvested everything to the point of you could claim stupidity, just believing that we would succeed. And it's worked out. That doesn't mean he's holding on to any funds for himself. Time reported that the multimillionaire has a personal chef and trainer. However, he also admitted that he doesn't have access to his bank accounts and that his mom is one who has access to the master bank account, though he is the CEO. Oh my goodness. Mr. Beach's strategy is a sound one, and it's similar to, say, reinvesting your cash dividends into purchasing more shares of the stock. Investors get to supercharge their long-term returns thanks to the power of compound interest. Donaldson, who has sustained and grown a flourishing empire since going viral in 2017, could be looking at a long-term rewards here. Gosh almighty, 2007. Wait, so he went viral in 2017. Most subscribers, I think, on the planet, right? Pretty freaking insane. $700 million a year. I've been doing this for free for 5 years. That is insane. I run Daddy Academy. There are 5 things men need to do to date their dream woman. Anyway, guys, I don't know. All this stuff is whatever. What the hell? Convicted con artist accused of killing his wife publicly excoriated for a litany of deception spanning years. Let's see. Brian Walsh's years of stall tactics and deception in a federal art fraud case cost him more than the 37-month prison sentence imposed on Tuesday. His entire lavish lifestyle went up in flames. Walsh, now 49, pleaded guilty in 2011 to selling bogus Andy Warhol paintings. Did you buy one? Oh, it's hanging in my dining room. Isn't it beautiful? It's a fake. You got it from Walsh? Anybody who spells their name Walsh with an E at the end, suspect, you know? Like, you're there, you're trusting a guy who's, oh my goodness, Elgato. You're trusting a guy who's got the last name Walsh with an E at the end. I've never seen that one before. It's Walshy. Hi, this is Brian Walshy. I'm sorry, we're not doing business with any Walshies. If you had a 0 E at the end and it was just a Walsh, a standard Walsh, we'd talk to you. We'll have a conversation. But you're a sketchball with that E at the end. He did it. He still got them to somehow. Con artist. When you're a confidence man, you can walk in there and sell the E at the end of the Walsh and still do your con. Walsh, she, now 49, pleaded guilty in 2011, and he would have included no prison time, but a proceeding came to the screeching halt when federal investigators ultimately uncovered about $2 million worth of assets that Brian hid to avoid paying restitution. Wow, look at this guy over here, Walshy. You know, he's walshing it off. Look at me, I'm going, Quincy District Court. Goodness, he killed his wife. Over the next 3 years, he and his wife's assets were scrutinized. Walshy was on house arrest as part of his pre-sentencing. He was confined to their Cohasset, Massachusetts home where he believed his wife, a real estate executive splitting time in Washington, D.C., was cheating on him with a man in the nation's capital, according to the court filings. The home confinement, coupled with the seemingly never-ending case, stained Brian's and Anna's marriage. Prosecutors argued until he allegedly beat her to death on New Year's Day and disposed of her body. But he's, what in the freaking heck? This guy? This guy? Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable, right? With those jowls. He's doing it. pending murder trial, which is scheduled to resume on March 4th. Good, he's getting more time. Through 37 months, prison will be followed by 3 years of supervised release and will run at the same time as any potential state sentence he may face after the murder trial. He's also ordered to pay restitution of $475,000. His lawyer, Tracy Minor, argued for time served with 3 years of supervised release, which was agreed upon in 2021, but before the hidden finances came to light. She said her client was gathering the necessary information about his father's estate when his wife went missing, and he was subsequently arrested and held without bail. So guys, skimming, right? We're dealing with it. Look at him in these photos. Do you see this one? Let's see the jowls on this one. Woof. He's doing it. And he's finally, you see he's stewing in it. He's sitting there, he's thinking about his actions. Maybe I should have disposed of her in a different location. Could really use a razor blade right now. And not to shave. Right? That's what he's thinking. He does need to shave, though. The guy looks like a pig. I'm just saying. Guys, let's see one more story. That's what we're doing. Just one more. Tesla placed a $16K bakery order for Black History Month, then suddenly canceled it. The bakers say it cost them thousands. What in the freaking heck would you do that for, Tesla? I just didn't want, any bakery items. I thought about it first, and then it was like, maybe we'd just cancel, you do like coffee and cheese and crackers instead, for Black History Month. You just thought do, get a pie. You get some pies instead. You get some coffee and some cheese instead. Elon Musk. A Black-owned bakery was angered by Tesla's behavior over a large Black History Month pie order. The owner says she scrambled to meet the request, incurring costs before the invoice was paid. But then the Tesla employee abruptly canceled the order by text message. San Jose Bakery has slammed Tesla after a company employee placed a massive pie order for Black History Month, only to cancel it after the Black-owned business scrambled to meet the request. I don't know why they have to continue to talk about like it's a Black-owned business. This is just a horrible crime. Does it make it worse? It's like, I don't understand. This is like, everything's gaslighting. I'm sorry. I just don't think that makes sense. Like they said that 3 times already in the article. Black-owned business, Black-owned business, Black-owned History Month. It was for Black History Month, and regardless of even that it was done for that, it was an order made for $16,000 or whatever it was, and then it was canceled. What the hell did you do that for, Tesla? Vohangi Vrosatarinari, the owner of the Giving Peas. Oh my God. She's the one who went at it. She wrote on Instagram that Tesla hurt my small Black-owned woman-owned business. So she hit it with small. Well, small is normal because we're all running small businesses. Black-owned, woman-owned business through the last-minute cancellation. I would say that whoever made this decision at Tesla obviously did something wrong. And I wonder if she had just contacted Tesla's accounting firm and just said, look, you guys made this order. I made this, order is put in. You guys should please pay your bill before I go out there and blast you, because I'm going to go out there and blast you. And they probably would have paid it. They called her and asked for 2,000 mini pies to be delivered by the following week. She said she got worried when the payment for her invoice didn't come through by the next day. I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait, and they're professional. They're a big company, so once it's approved, it's approved. But that evening, the representative called back and doubled the order, saying the bakery rushing to ensure to keep with demand. The order was worth $16,000. To fulfill the order, I had to turn down other Black History Month catering inquiries. What? Oh my goodness. You couldn't just say I had to turn down other catering inquiries. It's like everything has got to be a gaslight. Oh, purchase supplies and prepared for Black History Month demanding productions. So stupid. Like, okay, we get it. There's a holiday that you're getting called for to cater. I didn't take other inquiries because I was dealing with the Tesla thing. Well, there's other Black History Month catering inquiries. What? So stupid. I hate these freaking people, the way that all they do is talk about the division and create this division with these freaking comments. After chasing the representative on Friday, she said she got a text message casually informing me that Tesla had changed its mind. This abrupt reversal left me reeling, realizing the extent of the impact on my small business. I had invested time, resources, and effort based on assurances from Tesla, only to be left high and dry. Tesla did not immediately respond. The change of course cost the Giving Pies $2,000. I just have to know, because it sounds to me like she was waiting for a clear. They doubled the order and then canceled it. How much work did she really put in besides the concern that she hadn't been paid yet? Okay, you didn't take another order because you thought you were going to have this big job you have to do in the next 2 weeks. It was over a day or two period. How did you spend $2,000 on that? What, did you make some pies that I didn't see? Did you already make some of those pies? Because if you did, I'm sure people will buy them. You can get people here online that will buy your pies. Especially because you made it for Black History Month. You know? But when you go out there and you blast Tesla, instead of reaching out to them and saying, look, pay me mofo or I'm going to go out there and blast you. You know? It sounds like she actually did try to reach them and they didn't respond. Anyway, I'm curious to see if Elon Musk even knew about this. I'm sure if he found out, he would just pay her. Be like, oh, I'm sorry. No, I didn't know that they got the pies. They didn't pick them up. You know, I told them to get the pies and they didn't do it the pie. You know, that would have been better. Drunk driver sentenced to 22 years for death of NYPD cop. Whoa. Let's just read this real quick. A New York woman was sentenced to 22 years in prison for killing an NYPD officer in a drunk driving crash. Jessica Buevais was taking shots of alcohol during her podcast in 2021. Hours later, she slammed her car into a police officer who was directing traffic at a scene of an accident. The slain officer, Anastasios Sakos, leaves a family and 2 children. Cops say she was also driving on a suspended license. Bava was convicted of aggravated manslaughter. Wow. What is this? As a realtor, I gotta freaking see what this says. Reckoning for America's realtors? An estimated $100 billion in annual real estate commissions could be cut by 30%, analyst says, putting as many as 1.6 million agents out of work. Here's why. This is about that verdict that came through. Let's see. Following a $1.8 billion verdict, the National Association of Realtors, several large brokerage firms predicted that the decision could lead realtors facing huge cuts on commission fees that might drive them from the industry altogether. Now, again, this is all based on, and this is the story if you guys don't know. They were basically controlling the commission rate in certain areas of the country to say, well, this is what people charge. There's really no set rate when it comes to what you offer out to a buyer, okay? When it comes to someone who's listing and representing your house, and not that there's a standard, but you can say, this is how much I charge. Now, I've had many people over the years say, would you cut your commission? And I don't cut my commission because I'm worth every penny. At the end of it, when it comes down to negotiating, and when you're going to be collecting at the very end of this transaction, you want someone who's going to fight for their commission up front to be your fighter at the end. Someone at the beginning is saying, sure, I'll cut my commission. When you get a phone call and you say, hey, I have an offer for that house, that person's going to shove that friggin' offer down your throat and say, you got to take this offer. It's the best offer you're ever going to get. Because they already cut their own commission, because they don't even see their own value. Why would they see any value in your property? And this is what you should always tell yourself if you're an owner of a property and you're like, why won't my agent cut his commission? If he's worth it, he's worth it. If she's worth it, she's worth it. You know, if you're going to get somebody who's not going to do the work, they're not going to offer any creativity or any additional value to you, then I understand your perspective of saying, well, maybe shop around and find someone who does it for less. But less sometimes means you're getting less, and you're getting less at the very end as well. So keep that in mind. Remember, you pay for what you get in everything in life. Some of us agents are very much worth every penny we charge because we get the job done and we get you the most money from the marketplace. So keep that in mind. That's all I can say. And I think that's it for the news for the day, guys. Lady Gaga superfan and celeb blogger turned cop charged with killing TV host and his ex-lover. What? What? What in the freaking heck is this? A serving police officer in Australia has been charged with murdering his ex-boyfriend and his ex's new partner. A Authorities said Friday, days after the alleged victims disappeared, and some of their bloodied possessions were found in a dumpster. Beaumont Lamere Condon, 28, a former celebrity blogger turned senior constable who uses the name Beau Lamar, was arrested Friday morning after he turned himself in at the police station in Sydney's beachside suburb of Bondi. He's accused of killing 26-year-old TV host Jesse Baird, with whom Lamere was in a relationship until a few months ago, and Baird's new partner, 29-year-old Qantas flight attendant Luke Davies. He killed them both? Gosh almighty, this guy's a friggin'... Look at him, you could tell by his eyes. You guys know this whole thing with the eyes. We talk about it often here. When you got eyes like that, right? Look at that. What are he doing? Killing people. Local authorities allege that Lamar killed the couple on Monday and hired a van to get rid of the bodies that evening. 2 days later, items belonging to the alleged victims, including clothing, a watch, and credit card, were found in a dumpster. The objects reportedly had blood on them. Investigators then went to Baird's house, where he found a large amount of blood. On Friday, police also revealed that they recovered a projectile at the scene, which ballistic tests linked to Lamar's service weapon. The firearm was later found in the police gun safe. Baird and Davies' bodies have not yet been found. We still need to establish what cause of death is. Superintendent Danny Doherty of the New South Wales Homicide Squad said, "We need to find the location of the bodies. It's sad and tragic." A white van sought by the police in connection with the case was located on Friday, and Doherty claimed the van was used to transport the bodies and dispose of them. Lamar, who joined the NSW police in 2020, was in a relationship with Baird, which finished a couple of months ago. And so it's an obvious line of inquiry in the relation to domestic-style incident. The alleged killer had previously made headlines as an officer. In 2020, a video went viral in which Lamar tasered a suspect in the face. What in the freaking hell? Hold on, we gotta find this one. Lamar tasers guy in face. Let's see if we can find this. Yeah, this is it right here.
Are you interested in starting your own faceless YouTube automation channel, but all people do is tell you to go to frickin' Fiverr?
This marks the end of a 200-metre sprint from police. Seconds earlier, Chris Bradshaw took off from Taylor Square and ran into a nearby house at Paddington. Constable Beau Lamar followed him, first drawing his gun before swapping it for the taser. Hit 3 times, including to the face. It all started over the mistaken belief that Bradshaw was a wanted man. When you tapped him on the shoulder, what made you believe he had a warrant, he was asked. I believed he had a warrant. What you actually did was approach Mr. Bradshaw because he looked a bit sus. Your client is one of the very few I would ask if they had a warrant. And the magistrate believed him, and Bradshaw further raised suspicion when he ran away. But it's going to be difficult for the prosecution to prove resistance when you're trying to protect yourself from being electrified. The prosecution did, though. The magistrate finding Bradshaw did lunge at police and grab a female officer by the wrist.
What?
Throughout today's hearing, Constable Beau Lamar...
These people are so full of crap, man. I'll tell you. This is the stuff that baffles me in life. Like, the guy was shot in the face with a taser. Shot 3 times with a taser. He wasn't even the suspect. Like, he was not wanted for anything. They had him wrongly accused, and they let him. They were like, no problems here at all. He lunged. The lunge? She freaking pulled him. Oh, my goodness. This is insanity we're dealing with, guys. Look at this lady. She's thinking it's suspect, too. Look at that face. She's like, I don't get it, you know? I agree with you, lady. I don't get it either. Lady Gaga superfan. Taser man. We call him like Taser Face. What a freaking chooch. Yeah, see, this is more about this. Police officer charged with murder of Australian TV presenter Jesse Baird. I'll tell you, this guy's a real winner. A real winner here. Anyway, I think that's it. I think that's the news of the day. Comedy news of the day-ish. Wasn't really much comedy today. It was just more reading the news for you. But sometimes, oh my goodness. These people are so stupid. Everything. I can't. Can't when you're dealing with stupidity. You know, all these dummies with their news stories, which are intended to piss you off. They do a good job of it, you know? Very good job. Joanne, where the heck am I? I was on the screen and then I'm not on this. Oh. Thank you, Joanne. Guys, I appreciate you being here for the morning show. Last night was another awesome jam. Let me just see, what was it? It was this, right? Walking on the moon. I love it. I got to try to get these songs down for you guys. Walking on the moon. This is, of course, the happy place. Welcome to it. I'll try to be back with a vertical midday for you, and then, of course, it's Friday night, so we'll be playing cover songs tonight on the BeatSeat. The only drum in the world for guitar players. It is the product that is the sponsor of the show, in case you were wondering. BeatSeat.rocks. Make sure you get one. All are welcome here at the happy place. Oh, goodness. So let me say good afternoon to you if you are here. And if you can, leave a comment after, and please make sure you've hit the like before you leave. I really appreciate that. It does help the show and maybe gets others to find us here today. Will Smith slaps the Anaconda. That is just silly. I thought that would be funny. I don't know. If you guys have anything you want me to discuss on these shows, send over news stories to me at mp@markpires.com. Andrea O'Neill, Maine Girl, Trish Killian, Virginia, BDP in the house, my friend. Good to see you. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you're out there lurking, I appreciate you. I will be back later. This is 1,880 days in a row of live entertainment, and I intend to keep this streak going at least to 2,000 days in a row. So guys, we got 120 days in a row left, at least. Who knows if it goes beyond that. But right now, we're due. I think Bradley Smith found out that that's June 23rd, I believe, of this year is the 2,000th day in a row of this show. It's crazy. So I hope to see you on the 9s, 9 a.m. and after 9 p.m. Part 2. Till then, have a great day. Go make something happen. I'm going to go try to sell some real estate. I got to sell some real estate, especially with things changing, as they were just saying. Keep me in mind if you need anything in Connecticut, in New York, or anywhere in the United States, shoot me an email, mp@markpires.com. I can help you for free. Literally cost you nothing. You got to go away. You got to go